So this is the second part of lesson two. So I'm not going to teach you anything new. These are just like weird cases. So if you'll have a look at this is about as yucky as it gets. So we're just going to hit those really strange situations here. So when you have a situation like this, and you have all this in the parentheses, you need to factor out what it has in common first. So if it has something in common, you need to factor it out. So the first thing I do before I do anything else is rewrite this like that. And then I'll go ahead and make my table. So just review, these are going to affect my y's and these are going to affect my x's. So go ahead and get started on that. Okay, so have a look at the table. Notice that the x's did something weird when I divided out the pie. They became like normal numbers. So we don't have this a lot. And then I added 6 to that, and I came up with my graph here. This is the domain and range, period and amplitude. I included phase shift and vertical shift on these as well. Okay, so let's have a look at this one. And the same thing as before. So what do they have in common? So I'm going to factor out a pi over 2 because they have that in common. So I think that's probably the most difficult part of this. So when I factor out a pi over 2, I'm left with x plus, look, I factored all that out. So I'm left with x plus 3. Okay, so now go ahead and take it away. Oh, I need to add the -4, and the rest you should be able to do on your own. So on this one, when you divide by pi over 2, you multiply it by its reciprocal. So just kind of keep that in mind when you're doing it. And this should be your final answer for everything. Okay, so let's go ahead and see if you can do this one on your own. Okay, so this should be everything for this graph. Let's go ahead and move on to this graph. I believe this is the last one that we're going to do as a graph. Okay, this is everything. Sorry, my graph looks pretty yucky, but you get the idea at least. So double check everything I have. Now we're going to go through this, and I want you to be able to state the amplitude, period, and phase shift without graphing. So one thing I want to say about the phase shift is I always think PS phase shift, PS parentheses. So no parentheses equals no phase shift. If you have parentheses, you have a phase shift. So here I know I have phase shifts. So just kind of keep that in mind. Other than that, I'll just you can just work through these on your own and I'll list everything. Okay, so I'm going to make this smaller. I just want to tell you that everything that we have so far has had amplitude. Those are the only two with amplitude. So anytime you see another function, and we're going to get to all these functions in our next lesson, none of them have amplitude. So when you see the nones, that's what's going on there. Okay, so I'm going to minimize this, and this is my answer key. And if you have any questions, just reach out. Thanks.